We got the second trailer for the music video for Swim. I want to go over the first trailer and then the second trailer. The first trailer, it started with a few piano notes, and I think it was like a chord progression. It was like slow, somber, and we had the image of a woman from behind, and she was like running around a museum, and she stopped at a particular ship. We had some like airy sounds. There was like some sort of like strident string instrument in the middle, almost the end, and then some airy sounds. Then on the trailer that we just got like 5 minutes ago, we had again the motif of water. We saw the sea, we heard the sea, we heard a few swims being sang, very like airy. But this time, instead of just the piano notes, like chords, we I think we had a few like some chord progression on the again on very distorted guitars and a full drum set. And I think we had Jean's vocals saying something like "I just want to dive," and at the end there in a salute formation in the ship, like saying goodbye. The ship is characteristic because it looks like, I don't know, like 1400s or 1500s, when the Spanish Empire first came to the Americas. I think we have another clue on these two trailers about the songs. I mean, we have been talking about in my videos that Erirang is about longing, about resistance, about finding hope in that resistance. But now we have been getting several contents about decoding messages. One was the Spotify message, which purposely used an old machine, like a retro machine. And now we have the motif of the sea, and we have the ship that it's an elder type of ship from the like 1400s to 1500s. And we have the BTS members dressed as captains. They're at the ship, and then we have a modern day woman looking at the ship in a museum. I think every time a woman comes out, if it's not a love interest, I think we all assume it's army. At this time, I think it is correct to assume that it is army, because I think this message is for army specifically. So, what does it mean that they're sending message from the past to a woman that is the present, the longing for getting there, the travails of the sea? The sea has always been a motif in literature, especially, I mean, Foucault said it when the world started to modernize after like the Middle Ages. Europe started to separate people, right? And so the crazy people, they would send them up to the ships, and the ships would be going around the like the Mediterranean Sea and things like that. Besides doing like commerce and fishing, etc., they were also like picking up people that were deemed to be crazy by society to be sent off to another place. And at that time, we had stories like, I think Moby Dick is at that time. We also have, I forget this story about. Oh, we have several motifs. We have Anna Lee by Oscar Wilde. So the sea is always a motif in romanticism. I think it's mainly romanticism about loneliness, about travails, about getting crazy, losing yourself in that wave, in the immenseness of the sea. So, what does that mean that they're at the sea and that their message, maybe, does it mean that it's coming from the past, or does it mean that it transcends time? Another thing that I wanted to mention is the first, I want to talk about the whole album, the Spotify message they sent about the whole album. And then I want to talk about the individual decoded messages on Spotify. They said, "Hey, we are BTS. Congratulations on decoding Arirang. Our new album, Arirang, is finally here, and we missed you a lot. Thank you for the incredible support you've shown us while we prepare for this moment. Arirang is an album that encapsulates our identity as BTS. This album is particularly special because every member played a meaningful part in bringing these songs to life, and it is full of our thoughts and colors. So we hope you love it as much as we do. Thank you for always staying by our side. Our final surprise, I could spend a lifetime watching you." I thought this was beautiful because as a community of fans, we've always been lurking and watching BTS. And that's why people say, oh, the parasocial relationship is parasocialing, right? Because in theory, they don't know us. Parasocialing, right? Because in theory, they don't know us. And we're always looking at them, like lurking in the back. Um, but I think we've proven that as like a community, the relationship goes both ways. But what does it mean that at this time they're transparently saying, I could spend a lifetime watching you? I feel it's not crazy to assume that it's watching us army. So what does it mean? Are they lurking? Of course they are, but what does it mean? I don't know. I think they're amazed as much as we are amazed by them. I think that they're also amazed by Army individually and as a collective. Let's go to the individual messages. I'm gonna go in order of the fan chant. I think they were not really released in the order of the fan chant, but I'm just gonna do it that way so that it's like democratized. So RM says, "Hello Army, it's RM. It's been a long time. Our fifth studio album, Arirang, is about the universal emotions that we all share, like love, joy, longing, and the courage to keep going." The lead single "Swim" counters on the resolve to keep moving forward through the waves of life. The love in this track goes beyond romantic feelings. It's about love for life in its true sense, by choosing to move at one's pace rather than resisting the current. I hope this song reaches everyone who is doing their best in their own place. I missed you so much, Army. See you soon. Um, So again, we have a few other hints, right? We've known Arirang is about longing and love. There's repeated again that it's not about romantic love, but love for life itself. It's about going with the flow instead of resisting the current. I think someone on Twitter, and I've not been very active there, so forgive me if I don't remember what they said exactly, but they related it to the concept of Buddhism of like going with the flow. Again, I study Western philosophy, so I always am going to talk about that before because that's what I know. So I think of Heraclitus, which was supposed to Parmenides, right? Parmenides thought the world was like a whole being and it was static. And Heraclitus also thought it was like a whole, like a whole in itself, but it was always flowing. There was no, you couldn't take a bath at the same river at the same twice because the water always flowed. Um, there have been others after Heraclitus. I think the next one was Marcus Aurelius. It's important to mention that Marcus Aurelius was a sort of a conquistador and a philosopher, so he had a lot of contact with Eastern philosophies, and he in fact mentions it. And so a lot of I forget the name of this. It's not a lot of that type of philosophy is, even though it's Western and it's Elven philosophy, it's still influenced by Eastern philosophy. So they had contact with China, and by that time, I think it was already Neo-Confucianism that was already there, but of course there was like Taoism. Well, I don't know if Taoism was at the time there, but for sure Buddhism and Confucianism, and I think Neo-Confucianism, but I think it would be more like clear that it be Buddhism, but I don't know. And other philosophers have taken that uh, throughout the time. And again, this is such a pertinent message because as I've been expressing in my last videos, I've been so angry at the world, and it's making me cry and depressed. And finding the will to live, it's important. Then Yoongi says, "Army, are you ready to dive into Swim?" The lead single of our Then Yoongi says, "Army, are you ready to dive into Swim?" The lead single of our fifth studio album. We really put a lot of work into the sound of this one by powerful drums and lo-fi synths and a warm electric guitar. We added a special touch. We wanted the music itself to embody the resolve of navigating through the waves of life. So we work really hard on delivering that through sound. I personally think the groove of this track is a kick. Once it's out, I hope you can feel the strength in its rhythm, naturally moving you forward. Thank you for waiting for us, Army. And we can start seeing how RM presented the message as a whole, like the idea of the song, and now Yoongi is delving into the process of producing the song itself. We heard in the trailer, there was first, like in the first trailer where the woman was, we only had the notes, the few notes of the piano, and I think there was like a strident like string instrument, but I don't know if it was like only for the trailer. And now on the second trailer we could hear the full drums that Jung is talking about. We could hear the lo-fi synths and the electric guitar that I thought it was very distorted. Um, and now we have a second hint that it's ready to dive. So not only do you have to let yourself flow with the water, but you actually have to have the courage to dive into the water. Amazing. Then Hobie says, "Hi Army, it's J Hope. You've been waiting for our album Arirang, right? We've been working just as hard to get it ready for you. Our lead single Swim is about having the resolve to keep moving forward, even through the rough tides of life. Even when things seem scary, we wanted to cheer you on every step of the way because we've got to keep moving forward, right? We put out positive energy and our promise to stay with you into every single line. I hope our sincerity reaches your hearts. Let's keep swimming together, okay? We'll always be by your side. Thank you, Army. So again, another hint is about the positive energy and the resolve to keep moving forward, reinforcing the notion that you need to dive first. And it also like talks about like them observing us, like how they were when they were away, they sort of kept a watch over us, and they maybe saw that we were in disarray, or maybe they heard about a certain army that was depressed like me, or something like that. But like sort of like from the past at that time, them wanted us to like cheer us on and keep moving forward and said, don't stop, like full on dive with positive energy, even when the tides are too big for you. Then Jimin, Hello Army is Jimin. Our lead single Swim holds a very special meaning with our new album Arirang. If the album speaks about our roots and deep emotions, deep Swim represents our present, where we are right now. I think this track marks the beginning of a whole new chapter for BTS, like a current that never stops flowing. We wanted to show that we are still moving forward at our own pace. The track truly connects our past stories with our future dreams. So please look forward to it. Love you always. Another hint. So the whole album it's about their roots, again re-examining from where they come from. But Swim, it's the present. And I feel it's so reaffirming that they talk about the present because the present is often not talked about. In past songs, for example, when Yoongi, and this is a motif that he repeated a lot, he said like, I want big cars, big dreams, I have all of this like greed to be famous, to do great, to do art. Um, and they started their journey being hungry for a future. And along the way, they had to stop and reassess. And that reassessing, I think, it's the whole album, like the looking at their roots, looking at their past from the future, right? The future is like now, but looking at the past from like where they started from. But it's always important to look at your present, like take a look at where you are, like take a look how many rations you have, take a look at how long you've come from, where do you want to go, just reassess the present. um, and again, he says, like a current that never stops flowing. We wanted to still move forward. And again, this is something that I don't know why, but they've always wanted BTS to like this band and just go a solo. But they've always been reaffirming, no, we want to be doing go together and we want to have our like our solo careers. And even if it's not done before, we like they are saying we still want to do it. So they are choosing to do it at their own pace and just flowing with the current, like not resisting, which is amazing. Then V, hello army, this is V. Sometimes life can feel like a wave that is just too big and heavy. It can be scary, and there are times when your heart feels heavy too. But army, I want you to know that you are not alone in that vast ocean. Through our lead single Swim, I hope you can feel that we truly understand and support your journey. Don't compare yourself to others. It's okay to keep moving forward at your own pace. We will be right there, swimming right next to you. I hope this song feels like a warm hug for you. Ugh, this is, I feel, not to be narcissistic, but I thought that that message was like specifically meant to meant to be read by me. If you've been looking at my past videos, especially the video that I did congratulating Yoongi, I broke down in tears, and I mentioned that it has been a hard year. My mom passed away, but not only that, the situations in the world currently, the current affairs have me so angry. I feel so much anger and despair and sadness. And I mentioned that a way of surviving was for me to listen to my favorite artists like Yoongi, like Debí tirar más fotos de Bad Bunny and BTS, right? So again, I thought it was poignant that on the trailer they played with past and future. And now that they're saying that they are looking at us because at the beginning RM said I could spend a whole lifetime watching you. So I think this is clear that while were away in the army, they were keeping tabs on army as a whole community. But I wouldn't be surprised if they have like their favorite armies or something like that that they follow, and they saw that they were struggling, and they empathize. We empathize with them, and they empathize with us. Life can be a wave. It can sometimes be too heavy and scary. And I hope this feels like a warm hug. I just this want to like there's something that only people who love you want to make you feel better and want to like go on a journey along the way. Sometimes people might be like warm and say like, "Oh, it's okay, things will get better," but they leave it at that. But people who truly love you, like they will dive into like the deep ocean for you, not to rescue you, but to be there by your side so that you are not alone. And I feel like this is what V is saying, right? Lastly, Jungkook, he says, "Hello, it's Jungkook. Our lead single Swim is coming out soon. I'm excited and curious to see your reactions and how you'll feel when you first hear it. I want you to take away two things from the track: love for life and courage. I hope this song feels like a gift, something you can dance to and find comfort in those warm guitar sounds. If you're feeling a bit worn out, I hope these songs give you the courage to get through those times. Are you ready to keep swimming with us all the way?" Again, loving life with all its contradictions, with its ebbs and flows and its high tides and low tides and immense ferocity of life, and courage to face it. And again, reinforcing that they are there to swim alongside us. So they're not there to rescue us. They're not there to watch us sink. They're there to be ready to dive in and be in the path along the way, to encourage us to find courage in ourselves. That's amazing. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, please like and subscribe and leave a comment because it helps with the algorithm. I feel like sometimes I'm lost in the vast void of the internet, just rambling to myself like a narcissist. I love the members and I hope they have a good time. I pray for the well being of the people in Iran and Lebanon. And see you until next time. Until then, be excellent to one another. Bye.